What up? What up? What up, Niner? What up? What up? What up, Niner fans, Niner family? Welcome to the Niners Lounge. As always, we are the Four Horsemen. You know, I got my boy Ron, Mike, Drew, and of course, Mr. Yours truly, Money Man. What's going on, fellas?
It's
What
it's
up? What
it's
up?
hostile waters out there in Niner Nation as usual.
It's been an interesting
Well,
week.
it's been an interesting 3 years, actually. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Let's narrow it
So,
down to the
I,
last 2 days.
I mean, of course, we trying to come up with little topics every other week for you, but I think this is one topic that's probably gonna take up most of the show, if not all of it. Of course, like everybody been talking about, the Trey Lance San Francisco 49ers debacle, Kyle Shanahan. Uh, there's been a little words tossing around. Of course, we heard the whole racial thing being thrown in it. And me as a black man and a black fan, I'm not gonna say it was racially motivated, but it's unconsciously consequented. So with that said, let's go ahead and kick it live. Run, what's your first thoughts about this whole thing, man? And then we'll go to Mike and then Drew.
I mean, I said like we said before the show started, man. I can't, if we're talking specifically, right, about Kyle and Trey, I hear the noise on Twitter, I hear the noise on shows everywhere. Everybody feels like it's racially motivated. My take on this one here is, and I'm gonna bounce this back to you guys, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say on this one. I really don't believe that. I'm gonna say that in this situation here, I don't think that's the case. In the NFL as a league as a whole, yeah, we still have issues for sure. I'm not denying that. But with this one here, I can't get there.
Mike?
I gotta agree with Ron. I get why media is kind of pointing in that direction. I can see why that thought line is there, but I really don't think it is. It's when it comes to Trey Lance, I think the whole thing is he's become a victim of circumstance. He was given this team last year, and unfortunately, he got hurt. If it wasn't for that injury, he would still be our quarterback. He got hurt. Jimmy got hurt. Purdy came in. Purdy proved that he was the quarterback that Shanny's looking for. He can run this offense to a T. If the injuries wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't even know what Purdy is. So I honestly, it comes down to me that Trey has always just been a victim of circumstance. That unfortunate circumstances led to this. Now, when it comes to what happened this week, I honestly think that the agent got involved. Shanahan went out and said that he hasn't made a decision. He'll make a decision for week one. And for those who don't know, Sam Darnold and Trey Lance have the same agent. So I think the agent heard that and was like, no, 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 you need to make a choice because I need to get whoever doesn't get the job, I need to get them out of there. So I think Shanahan went the safe option. Darnold is a safer option than Trey Lance at this point. He's been shaky. Week one, Trey Lance looked god awful. Like, what are we doing here? This is a mistake. Second week, he had a bounce back. It wasn't perfect. He had that awesome 2-minute drive, but up to that point, still a little shaky. So Shanahan went with the safe option. Now it's coming out that John Lynch said that most likely Trey Lance is going to stay on the team because there is no market out there for Lance. And it's because what he showed on the field. So I still don't think this chapter is closed. He still might get a shot because now that he's named number 2, Shanahan can still go back and be like, you know what? I think Lance has been looking better. Let's put him in if something happens. But God forbid, let's hope Purdy stays healthy and we don't even have to go to a backup. But everyone up in arms Guys, everyone's fighting over backup. We shouldn't even have to worry about that. You want your starting quarterback to play the entire season and get you to the Super Bowl. And that's Brock Purdy. It's always been Brock Purdy. It is what it is.
So I'm curious to hear Mav's view, because I don't want to completely shut it down. I do want to hear Mav and what Drew have to say and where they're coming from, because obviously the noise is loud.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know.
Go ahead, Drew. Drew.
I think Drew's stepping back. He's stepping out for a little bit. He'll be back.
I will put one thing out there where race can come involved. I don't think it is when it comes to the Niners, but the one thing that you kind of have to look at is what other quarterback can you look at in this league who was such a high draft pick, who's kind of not getting a second
Josh
shot?
Rosen.
He got a shot.
Josh Rosen. He got all his shot all in the world.
All of them do. You can even say it for Sam Darnold. He continues to get these shots. So why is Trey Lance? I don't want to throw the word blackball out there, but it's getting to a point where why is there no market for him? Why is he not getting a shot? Because the kid is he's still super young. You can see the athleticism there. You can see potential. So why is another team not offering anything for him? Why is he not getting that second shot?
Okay, so again, I said it earlier. I do not believe that it is racially motivated, but it is unconsciously racially consequented for the simple fact that he is black. Was only 20, barely played any college ball, and you made that type of move to go get him and put him in that scenario, put him in that position, and didn't know how to handle it. You just pretty much let his whole stock plummet from being this high value player to like, bruh, you still need more, you know what I mean? So I'm not speaking on behalf of the whole black community, but like I told Ron earlier, and we've had this discussion before, and it's just we've seen it over and over and over again, and it's time to just stop. I mean, for me, since I've been watching football, when it comes to the NFL, predominantly, the two positions that are predominantly owned by white guys are the head coaching position and the quarterback position. When you look at wide receivers and running back, predominantly black. But you look at any other position on the field, it's a mixture. It doesn't even matter. As long as you can hit, you can stop, you can do this, you're playing. But the quarterback position is such an important position. It is so polarized for me to be a person of color to not see what's being done. I'm instead of bypassing all of this, if we win, it overcomes everything we've done. To me, the win doesn't mean nothing if it's not justified by the things that
don't you think? The scrutiny is just like on the position itself, though.
It is.
Don't you think? Like,
that's what I said.
Whether you're black, yes. So whether you're black or white, if you're a bad quarterback, you're gonna get, and you make mistakes, you're gonna get shit talked about you, right? We're not gonna deny that. There's racially motivated comments or remarks made on quarterbacks, but I also think that it's very easy to just lump that in and say, oh, well, just because he's black, he's getting unfavored treatment. We also got to be careful with that as well.
I'm not saying he's getting unfairly treated. It's the way that it presents itself. It comes off differently to me as a black man. I'm looking at it differently than what the rest of the league would look at it as. Zach Wilson, for example. How long did it took you? How many games did it take you to realize that he just sucked?
They pulled the plug on him pretty quick, didn't they? Like, he made it half a season, and I don't even necessarily think that it was his performance that got him benched. It was what he said after a game that got him benched. They said, "Do you think that
Okay.
your play cost the team today?" And he said, "No, I don't." And they benched him.
Now, see, Trey Lance.
Mixture of
Trey
attitude.
Lance was labeled. Trey Lance was labeled a bust right off back, knowing that he was a project coming in. Most of the fans and most of the media dismissed that part. Even though they keep repeating it, they dismiss the part that, okay, he's a project coming in. He's not going to look like he's NFL ready. Can we give him some more games? Give him some more reps? Let's actually see what he can do.
Yep.
Not one game here, 2 games next season, and then one, and like, damn, okay, he sucks. He's a bust. To that, it doesn't sit well with me.
I'm ready, man.
Hold on, Drew. While you look at a guy like Josh Rosen, who was on 3, maybe 4 teams, got all the opportunities in the world. Not, again, it's hard for me not to look at race when it comes to that position because I've seen it over and over and over again. Not saying that Kyle is racist. I'm not calling him that. But the decision and the position and this whole situation has somewhat of a racial deal.
Okay, so and I'm going to ask y'all a legit question because I want to know. Does it matter that he's half-breed?
Nope.
That his mom's white?
Nope.
Because the skin color is not white. The skin color is
think
black.
He's still you still think he's getting he's just still getting discriminated against?
Definitely. Most definitely. By a lot of fans.
I'm not saying
I ain't gonna lie to you. I've literally seen them say it. Like, I've seen comments when you go under stuff, and it's crazy what people say. And I'm like, yo,
take fans out.
Ridiculous.
Take fans out of the equation. We're talking about the organization.
The organization, I think, honestly,
because there's going to be people out
this,
there that are going to make this racially motivated. But
I'm gonna tell you something. If you want to percentage this out the organization of what y'all think, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's not more than even 10 or 15% that makes it with race. If y'all think it's race, I'm telling people you're wrong. And I've been trying to say it's not a race thing. But I feel like the race comes in because it is a style of play. When you think of black quarterbacks, everybody thinks of a scrambler type or this is how this person plays. When you think of a white quarterback, they don't associate that. So that's where the race comes in. That's why I say only 10, 15%. Because it's not going to be, that's not the big deal. It is the percentage of the style of play. And that's what it was. It is a certain style of play that they run. Like, that race thing has been killing me. I'm like, yo, because you can say that, okay, and you can go with different teams who's hasn't used, all right. I like right
in
now.
Other words, hold on, Drew. Hold on. In other words, are you saying the style of play at the quarterback position is the only position that remains traditional? While every other position is being modernized?
In certain organizations, yes. I feel like they stick to a traditional set. There's a lot of teams. Prime example, besides Cam Newton, how many black quarterbacks have you seen on the Patriots? You got Cam and Davey.
That's true.
Name me
okay,
another
but
one.
hold up. Let me throw this out there though.
And
okay.
They're not a running quarterback type team, let alone
I agree.
a running team. You've known Patriots as a passing team.
I agree. So, can the same be said though? There's about 15 teams, maybe 10 teams that treat quarterbacks really well, that are good for quarterbacks. The rest, there's organizations who just in general are not good at the quarterback position. So can we also say that, yeah, I get certain owners prefer a white quarterback. Let's be real.
Yes.
But at the same time, we can
Hold on,
also
hold on.
say like there's certain organizations who just don't know what to do with quarterbacks.
Hold
That's what
on.
I'm
Is
saying.
it the
There is a percentage, but it's not going to be heavy like what people think. It's a lot of people think that everything has to be black and white, and it's not. It's not, because like I said, if that's what you want to say, and me and Ryan, me and you talked about this, think about a whole team. It's going to be other black stars on that team. Now, if you're worried about a certain position, like I say, you look at as the leader of the team, a leader of an offense. It's a main thing when you look at teams. First thing you think of is usually quarterbacks. Now, you want to say who represents that? You want a white guy to represent it? There's a lot of people who want that. They want a black guy. A lot of people want that. They make a big deal when they go to the Super Bowl. Oh, this is the first time a black quarterback has been in the Super Bowl. Play like if the media would stop doing that, fans would stop doing that. Maybe not. I may be wrong. But the media does that too.
You know what?
Black coaches, black quarterback. Just it's a sports game. They're coaches, not black coaches, not a white coach. They're coaches. They're players. Let it be
Right.
like that. There's too much black and
That's
white.
what I'm asking for.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're agreeing on the same thing. Like, color doesn't have to be involved in everything. We choose when we want to involve it, and we don't, unless it's blatant. And I don't think in this situation, like, let's be real. Jim Irsay, he's probably the owner you can look at and be like, yeah, that makes sense. If he said some off the wall shit, there's certain owners you look at and you're like, yeah, that makes fucking sense that these people would treat a guy like that. I look at the 49ers organization. I can't see that with Trey Lance. I'm looking in other directions. I'm looking more at like, did we fuck up? Did scouting fuck up? Did Trey, is Trey just not that good? I'm looking at everything besides race on this one. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to agree with you and say race isn't a factor anywhere else. That's not what I'm saying. Both things can be true. But when it comes to the 49ers, I don't think that's the case. And I think fans saying that right now are wrong. I really do.
Can I give
It's
you,
not.
Can I give you my take on this? I've been
Go
waiting,
ahead.
and I'm gonna tell you, I'm about to lay it down. This is the whole take on Trey Lance. I had to sit back and get myself together. Mike had to get me together. Mike was like, hey, chill out. It's a backup position. I said, fine, okay, great. It's a backup position. Now, the big thing about this, forget even starter position. We knew he didn't have that. So, and the fact that he's still on the team, that's another factor. Like, everybody's acting like he's gone already. Oh, he's gone. And they got Trey got played. Trey didn't get played. Trey still has an opportunity. The thing is, when Trey came in, they gave up picks. He was suspected to be a starter after Jimmy left. We knew Jimmy wasn't going to stay long. You have to show something. With that, I say he did not have enough time to develop. Y'all gave him a couple games. He hurt himself. Injuries happen. Then when he came back, he wasn't all that. They gave him an offseason. The man decided to train different. He tried. He trained different, trained with different people, started training with Mahomes. He wanted to get himself together. He comes back for preseason, has a bad game. Comes back, has an okay game. And all of a sudden, boom, now we're sitting him behind this other guy. I feel like it wasn't fair, and everybody's calling him a bust. This guy never played 5 games before you call him a bust. You got people like Zach Wilson, who's now getting replaced by an old guy, Aaron Rodgers. That's a bust. He had his time. He had full seasons to play. You didn't show what they wanted. You was a first round. That's a bust. That's Trey Lance is not a bust. He may not just be good yet, but he's not a bust. That's why when people say, oh, he can go to a different team and be good, you never know, because they'll give him the time to develop. He'll have time to sit behind somebody. Jordan Love been on the team behind Aaron Rodgers. He comes out this year. If he has a bad season, are they just instantly going to call him a bust? Yes, because he's been there years. He's seen preseason games. He's seen a full season. He'll be like, okay, he'll see a full season. Trey has not seen a full season. It hasn't really been given the opportunity. Every game that he plays and he does any bad thing, they're like, oh, this is a bust. See, he's not that good. Like, give the guy a full game chance. He messes up. All quarterbacks mess up. Every quarterback doesn't have a great game every game, and you have to understand that. Jimmy G, we yelled at this man for years because he couldn't throw a deep ball. Trey's first pass, even though it was a preseason game or not, was to Danny Gray for a deep ball, and everybody was excited. Then he messes up, and everybody's like, oh, bust. Like, yeah, he's quick to throw him under the bus if you mess up because, oh, we gave this many picks for him. We want him to do excellent. Like he's supposed to make no mistakes because we gave up so much. Guess what? He has to develop. Everybody forgets his last season of college football. He played one game and literally sat out. The man could have had rust, whatever. When he figured out he wasn't, he tried to find a new training method. So therefore, it's like, okay, you have to give the guy a chance. Everybody's like, oh, it's bust. Then it's like, okay, it's race. Maybe it's not race. Maybe he has a different style of play. Mav said it perfectly. If something changes, they have to have a different set play for him, type of playbook, because he is that different type of quarterback. He is a scrambler. He is a different type of thrower. You have to find something different. But it's crazy because then you look at the back and forth. Now you're looking at the organization. The team loves him. You heard the team say it. People defend him. When this man scores, we get penalties because everybody's going nuts. Aaron Donald scored a touchdown too. Did you see the same reaction? Let's be honest. You did not see that. So there's something that everybody in that organization is seeing. But the fans want to say something. They want to say stuff. And it's like people who sit down and don't play the game, it's good to just sit there and talk that stuff. It's good to sit there and talk it. I feel like people who actually know the game, you played it, you coached it, you've been into it. Don't just become a fan and you want to talk stuff about all the players and you couldn't get out there and even call a player, know what a set play is, read the defense, but you want to, oh, this man can't read the defense. Neither can you. Sit back and shut up and be a fan. Let's enjoy the game, enjoy the team, and watch the game. Y'all want to call somebody a bust? Bust right now, I say is Donald. Dude came first, USC, played different team to team, couldn't make it, and he played full seasons. What's up?
You got all this written.
I can't say it again. What did he say?
I said you got all this written down, or is it straight off the chest?
This is not written, man. This is coming because I'm like, yo,
this was
stuff that's been said. And
he's going off, baby.
It's like
he's cooking. Hey, let him cook, bro.
It's
this
like
was
you
rational,
gotta,
Drew.
You gotta look at somebody.
When this first happened, Drew's rant was like off the hook. It was just like insane.
It was.
Cause I was like, dang, bro, this is crazy. Like,
so let me ask you guys this.
He a bust. He was always a bust. Bro played 5 games.
Did Trey hurt himself by not playing one more year in college?
Yes, he did. I said that in the first place because I ain't gonna lie. When the draft came out, I swear I thought we was taking Justin Fields. Not gonna lie. None of y'all really liked him. I thought that was what was coming because I figured
bust
him taking that year off. I felt he shouldn't have did that. I still stick to he shouldn't have did that, and it's actually showing proof that he shouldn't have did that.
It wasn't his choice. It was COVID.
Yo, I got questions.
Everybody
I got some questions.
During COVID too, though. Everybody else played during COVID.
Did we? Okay, so
the division he was in.
Does this say more about Trey or does it say more about Kyle? And 2, did we convince ourselves to like Trey Lance when we drafted him? Because that's just what we do.
I mean,
okay, you know what?
Because we wanted Fields, and that's okay.
There was super high expectations for whatever quarterback we were going to pick. We gave up all those picks for what the organization hoped was going to be our franchise quarterback. So you got a portion of the fan base who automatically just got behind it because they wanted it so bad. And I don't think people can come to terms about what he's actually produced. It was the wrong situation for him. This team's been ready to go. You don't waste the talent of this team developing a quarterback. He's someone that's good to go. And he was inexperienced. And like I said, just victim of circumstance. He couldn't stay healthy either. The first 2 seasons, he got hurt. He broke his finger in the first season during preseason, which they say affected him up through even last year, and then the ankle injury last year. And you can't fault him for Purdy coming in and balling out and doing with this offense what Shanahan's been looking for the past 5 years.
I ain't gonna lie, I was happy about that.
But check this though. I think that's where the race thing comes into play at, because most people believe that this whole ordeal is about Purdy coming in, taking his job, which is not. I mean, as a 49er fan, you want the best guy out there. And that's one thing we all agree on.
Simple as that.
And
Simple as
yeah,
that.
and the team was moving. I felt bad and sorry for Trey, but I also thought that okay, going there next season, he'll be QB2 or whatsoever. I felt like the whole deal with how Kyle handles quarterbacks, because the tag that was put on this man is the fact that he's a quarterback guru. He's a genius.
I don't think anyone's ever said that. I think a lot of people fault Shanahan for how he develops quarterbacks. That's probably one of his faults.
That's his blip on the resume. Yes, that's one thing you can say about Kyle.
I don't think anyone's ever called him a quarterback.
Okay, so they call him a genius, no doubt, right?
Play calling.
Now, has he
schemes people? He's phenomenal at play calling, but it's got nothing to do.
But name me one.
That's why they
one quarterback that he has developed.
Okay,
but name me one quarterback he developed.
You're choppy, but let me ask you this, because I brought this up earlier. I said there's about 10 to 15 teams in the league who treat and develop. If you go to these teams, chances are you're going to be in a good spot. The rest, are we still one of those teams? It's been forever since we've been able to have a good quarterback.
Good solid quarterback.
We've been used. We're the mecca of quarterbacks, right? Are we not?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you say that, but when is the last time we had a solid quarterback?
Well, that's the problem. I think where we're at now as a team is that this team is very quarterback friendly if you're good to go. This team's not good to develop somebody. But if you're a halfway decent quarterback, Shanahan can make you look good.
That's exactly it, Mike.
I think the team is very friendly to an established quarterback, an experienced quarterback. But someone young and experienced like Trey Lance, they don't have the time and patience.
That is why I think Shanahan still likes Kirk Cousins.
Develop a guy.
I've been said that he likes Kirk Cousins for that. Scheme fit, ready to go.
It's not the team. It's the scheme. Ron, you said it's 15 teams in the league, but I believe it's 15 coaches, not the team.
Well, coaches, yeah.
Over years, so that's why I'm like. And Kyle, I believe, is one of those coaches that you have to be older, a vet, and already look halfway decent, like you guys say. Those are the type of quarterbacks that he deals with. And I still believe that his dad is still in his ears as well. Like he's not.
Well, how many swings? How many swings does he get at a quarterback? How many swings does he get at one? He got the draft one. He said no to Brady. He passed up on a few of them. So how is he going to get the quarterback? Is Purdy the guy that he didn't even draft? Greasy picked. He lucked into. And that's okay.
I seriously believe that.
Regardless of how we got there, I think Purdy's his guy. We finally found the quarterback that clicks with him and his scheme.
Yep.
It's just like we talk about quarterbacks and coaches, and just they mesh with each other. When you find that that combo, it's golden on the field. And I think Purdy is that guy to Shanahan. He's finally found it. And it may have been a bumpy road to get there, and luck may have been a big part of it. And God bless Greasy if it was his pick, but we got there. And I think Purdy's going to be Shanahan's guy, and they're going to do special things for years to come. People may want to downplay.
All right, so let's
talk that he doesn't have the arm, he doesn't have this. He doesn't need it. He's got.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on from the whole quarterback talk and go strictly to Kyle Shanahan. Do you believe his words? Do you believe anything he says? And this is strictly about Kyle. No quarterback talks, no nothing. We're moving on from that.
No.
This brings up a good point. Is all these content creators? I've said this before on the show, but these content creators that feel entitled that the team needs to give them information. No, they don't. This is a business.
They don't.
They're not entitled to any information. I don't need the front office telling me all the ins and outs of the team. It's not my business.
Exactly.
They're going to run how they're going to run it. So all these content creators who think they're entitled and they want Shanahan to tell them this, tell them that, he doesn't owe you shit.
See,
I'm sorry.
I agree with that because everybody was getting upset, like, oh, he lied to us, he did this. I said, listen, be honest, he ain't supposed to say nothing. He only answering questions because you have to, or they literally, I think what is they get fined, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm gonna go up there and talk where I have to. If anything, I might just tell things about practice, and we're gonna talk about what happened in practice. I don't gotta tell y'all about the quarterback situation. I ain't gotta tell you about my running back situation. I might
Exactly.
update you about injuries, and that's it. That's all he's really meant to talk about. Because I said I wasn't gonna pick quarterback number 2, and then all of a sudden quarterback number 2 comes. That's his business. That's him and John. And that's up.
But the
You might as well, if you want that, and these content creators want that, we might as well give away gameplay. What's going to happen for each week?
Right.
Tell them that. I don't feel like it's necessary to say. We had a good practice. This is the update on injuries. Thank y'all. No more questions.
Like some of these content creators, they want to talk about how the base core of the 49ers press corps is soft. It doesn't ask the tough questions. They don't need to. I'm sorry, but the organization doesn't owe us anything. It's a business, and that's how it's run.
They just want to know everything. You know, we want to know the inside. Like, we got to share the business. I need to know the inside. I bought tickets, so
I'm about to throw a monkey wrench in this whole conversation after Ron. Go ahead, Ron.
Yo, so how do we feel about how they handled the situation yesterday, though? Because it was kind of messy, and that shit was like.
I will say that was not handled in the best light. I think whatever happened behind the scenes that kind of forced someone's hand to make the decision, they were just kind of like the knee-jerk reaction is what they did.
I just want to know who sent Fred up there to the podium. They was like, "Hey, Fred, go tell."
Right, right.
That was a little messy. It should have been. Yeah,
Fred,
I love Fred, man.
Yo. They actually
I don't know what's going on.
You see Fred up there? You see Fred up there, bro, fielding questions about the QBs? Like, yeah, I don't know. Right. I was like, what? He said, yeah, Darnold. You know, Darnold came in here, and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Hey, Darnold walked in the room first, and he seen Kyle and them. He was like, hey, let me talk to you. He was like, nah, go ahead, Fred, go in there.
Yeah. They said, Fred, go ahead on the media. I got a fire to put out real quick.
All right. So, here's my monkey wrench in this. Here's my monkey wrench in this whole conversation. I agree, and David, I disagree. I disagree on the aspect of being a DFS player. I want to know who the hell is going to play. I want to know who the hell's on the team, who's practicing, who's injured. I want to know these kind of information. For me to actually,
that's fine. That's some basic stuff. That's fine. That I can do. But it's to the point where these content creators, because they want their clicks, they demand to know every inside thought that Shanny's thinking. Why did you make this decision? Well, who cares? He's the head coach. He made the decision. Move on.
So I think what happened was, hold on. I think Shanny hadn't told Trey yet. I think, and they asked him the question, and he hadn't told his players. So that's one thing you don't do. You don't tell the media before you tell your team. That's one thing you don't do. That's what probably happened. He was forced. They asked him, and he was like, "I haven't even told anybody yet." So he had to lie. Sometimes you got to, Mav. Sometimes you just. And then he hadn't told Trey yet. He told Trey, and then it didn't go the way he wanted it to.
No, that's totally fine. I understand that. But I mean, sometimes I do want to know. I do wonder what a coach is thinking in certain process, like that process, for example. Like, I want to know what he was thinking, like where he was trying to head with it. Because I mean, he shows me one thing, says another, and then does something totally different. Like, okay, you confuse me. I mean, I'm glad we get these W's, but I'm a little confused by your tactics.
You know what's interesting?
So
he said that he made that the decision was kind of made 10 days ago. Count back.
I've seen that.
It was the first preseason game. I think that game killed Trey Lance's chances.
I think he knew it, and when he played him, even the second game, let's all remember how he even came in the second game. It was the fourth quarter, and he came in almost like towards the end. It was like mid fourth quarter. He already had the plan. Like, I didn't plan on probably playing him, but it came up. And Even with this week, they're like, oh, he's going to be back at practice today. Let's be honest. Is he going to play this game? If he does, will that even change anything? Will it affect anything? I don't think it will. I think it'll just shut people up a little bit, and then let's focus on what really needs to be focused on, and what we all need to be talking about is this Bosa contract. That is what needs to be done.
We'll get to that. That's gonna be the last thing for the night. We'll get to it. Okay, so let's move on. We done did quarterbacks, we done did a coach. Let's talk about this agent, man. I mean, if you put yourself in his shoes, do you put yourself in that situation as an agent?
I think he just tried to play both sides of the field. Like it was very weird that you had two guys competing to the backup quarterback that had the same agent. And like I brought up earlier, I think he was just like trying to bank on both. He knew one guy would be the backup, and I think he was hoping that he could get the other guy on another team and get paid twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it was Darnold, it kind of hit him in the ass because there's no trade market for Lance. It is what it is. I think he was probably hoping deep down that Trey was going to get the number 2, and he could get Darnold on some other team to be backup.
So, Mike, what you saying?
But I mean, what?
Hold on. Well, Mike's saying no trade market, but then they're saying these certain teams are interested. Is it a real interest, or is it just talk then?
I don't think so. When Lynch said that most likely Lance is staying on this team, there's no market.
Hold up real quick. We got a viewer. We got a comment, fellas. Jerry says we can want to know, but we don't need to know. Thanks.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching, Jerry. We appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate the watch. Yeah, it's a good comment. But these content creators who want to demand the info, fuck them.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Did you guys see enough in preseason, just from preseason, I guess whatever was reported? Did Sam Darnold do enough to get number 2? Honestly.
He's the safe option. That's the way it comes down to.
I mean, I agree. I agree with Mike by him being the safe.
So then what you crying about?
Hold on.
I'm just kidding.
I always get back to your point.
Now check this though. I agree with Mike about Sam Darnold being the safest. Being the safest option for the simple fact that you could slide him right on into that same system.
That's what
like Drew said earlier. I talked about it in the text. Trey Lance need a whole different package, and in order to get a whole team ready for that package, bro, I mean, I don't see it happening.
Okay, hold on. I'm glad you said that. So if you know that you need a whole different package, so you trying to tell me they don't practice for a time that Trey may have to come in there? Because then you should have
because dude, I've been yelling it since last year. I've been saying this. Trey Lance needs to go somewhere else to where he's going to actually progress. Being on the 49ers, he's not going to get his shot. I've said that. You guys know I've said that. And I'm a big Trey Lance fan. But, you know, this is not going to be the place for you. Not under this coaching system.
See, and that point right there is why I think there's no market for him right now. Because you look across the NFL, where's a team that he's not going to be in the same situation where he's sitting behind someone?
Oh, I mean, yeah, but we just talked about that last week because we were talking about even with other, what was it? We were talking about other players getting traded, and we were talking about the quarterback market. The quarterback market is tight right now. That's not where you want to be right now trying to find a position. Everybody is
okay. Trey Lance Trey Lance being a number 2 behind another quarterback is not really a bad thing. It depends on the only bad thing about it is if he goes to another team that is built like the 49ers to win now. That's not where he needs to be. He needs to be on.
So then why not just stay here? Then why not just stay here?
Do you know
what I'm saying?
Right now. That's not really his choice right now.
You know where he can go? You know
whether he stays or not.
It's their choice. But you're the one sending them off to another team saying it would benefit them. So I'm asking you.
It will.
I'm asking you, why not just stay with San Francisco? And he probably still needs more time here.
because I believe as long as Kyle Shanahan is here as a head coach in San Francisco, the team will always be Super Bowl ready or always be ready to contend. Those narratives will always be there. No matter how many pieces we lose, oh, we have Kyle. That's always going to be the say. We have Kyle. We can win. We can do this. We've built from nothing to what we are now. That's going to always be the narrative. So tell
That
me
was
where
the
Trey
old way of doing things. So my thing is that's the old school way of doing things. You sat, you learned until you were ready to play, like in college, before the
right.
transfer portal, and everybody decided to just they don't get a shot. They don't work anymore to go to second string and then move their way up to starters. Everybody wants to leave everywhere all the time. Why not sit there? Like Mike said, Trey Lance should. He was in the same class as what is it? A DTR. They were in the same draft class. That dude's throwing 1,500 passes. Trey Lance is barely throwing 490. He needs more reps. So why not here?
Okay, I agree with you. Why not here? Why not in the golden red? But is he gonna get it? As long as those narratives still stand that we have Kyle, we'll always be ready to contend. I don't see Trey Lance ever getting a shot like he needs to get a shot in order for us to fairly evaluate whether he's a bust or not.
I believe
I
you.
think he's got his
He'll
chance.
get the reps, but like you said, it won't be here. It's going to have to be at a different team. He'll get reps, and like Mav said, it wouldn't be a bad thing as him being the backup on a different team because he might end up actually getting a shot. But here, with the
Like, put it this way.
system
Put
they
it this
got,
way. Let put it this way. Let's say you ship him off back home to Minnesota, right? Kirk Cousins is only there for one more year. Like I said, they have Jared Hall from BYU, and I believe they went and picked up somebody this year as well. But after next year, it's only one QB on that roster, and he's only going into his second year.
so you saying he has
That'll be a
Don't you
nice
think?
fit.
Don't
battle?
you think? Don't you think Trey would be served better with like a team that's rebuilding that can take the lumps versus a team who's like playoff ready? Usually, that's
Well,
like
that's
CJ Stroud and these young guys. They get the benefit of coming to a team that's rebuilding, so they can take the lumps with the team.
So you
That'd
saying
probably be the best
and
situation for
so
Trey.
like the Texans, the
but
Colts, all these
Right.
start.
These rebuilding teams
but
that can, he can go in there and like play with young guys.
okay, he don't need to go into a total rebuild team because he's already been in the league 3 years, so he should understand the NFL system, right?
Should.
But the only reason I
Hold up.
said the Vikings because that's go ahead.
Let me read this comment from Jerry real quick. Jerry said Sam was consistent, Trey wasn't.
Facts.
And I don't know what happened and how it went down. Hot take is, what if Trey hasn't been able to execute the basics in practice or prove to Kyle that he's ready? If that's true, I don't want him in a game. That's for you, Drew.
Okay, so
Mav?
hold on. Okay, so that the basics in practice. What are basics to Kyle? Because we understand his system is a little bit different than the rest of the league, right?
Let's
He
talk
runs a
about the Raiders
specific
game.
system.
Let's talk about
Okay.
the Raiders game. All right, let's be real. He looked like a deer in the headlights.
But let's also be real. The longer the game goes on, the longer he stays in, the better he starts to look.
But that
Exactly.
he's
For a
supposed
guy, for a guy,
he's for a guy who's been in the league 3 years. That's not going to work anymore. You need to go in there and be
But
ready.
he hasn't
For a
had
third,
solid reps for 3 years. That is the
But,
thing.
but,
dude,
because
let's,
he's been hurt.
but that
He
gets
got hurt.
So
that's
now
what
that
he
he's
needs
not hurt,
in
okay,
every
right?
game that you
He's not
play.
hurt. He's third string, right? He gets these reps in practice, and he gets better, and it gets better. Say he has a possibility he comes into more of a system, figuring it out. Can he get a spot for number 2 still? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like he said, the
Yeah.
more
So
reps he gets, the more it goes on, he'll get better to the system and staying healthy. Now, if he's injury prone and
If
he
Trey
gets
was,
hurt again, then we'll see it.
here's the
I
thing
got
with
a
Trey.
quick, I
Here's the
got a
thing I'm gonna
question.
say with Trey. To me, with Trey, it's like I look in his eyes and he looks scared. He looks like it's too like he's that's what I'm scared with Trey. He don't look ready.
This kid is not used
He
to.
looks deer in
He's
headlights.
not used to being. The kid is not used to being a pocket passer, and you're trying to make him into a pocket passer. I could see why he looked like a deer in the headlight because his first initial thought will be run. Let me get out of
Then
here.
what
Let me take
is he
off.
then? What is he then?
That's the thing. That's the whole ordeal. We don't know. We don't know. Because if you look at his college tapes, he takes off. He doesn't sit there. He's not in the pocket.
But there's not even that
When
much
you look at a 49,
he played
Huh?
1 year in college. Here's my thing with Trey. So everyone always brings up that the longer he plays in the game, the better he gets. Why is it that every game it takes that? Why does he have to have this slow start every time? He played the Raiders. It was whatever. That was just dog shit all around. And then Drew, I don't even want to talk about the damn stats because that was a damn lie. So then he comes in last week, and again, he's got to warm up to get to a point where he's looking decent. Every time he plays, that has to happen. Why is he slow to start every time? There's no consistency.
why has the whole team been slow to start for the last 3 years in a row, and then after 4 games they get hot?
Yeah, but you don't
Explain
want you don't want your quarterback slow to start every damn game.
You're right, but who's to say that he's gonna start slow every game? Who's to say that maybe all it takes him is like 3-4 games to really get comfortable, and the 5th game he starts taking off? Who's to say that? I mean,
Jerry
there are a
says-
lot of different variables.
Jerry says argument last year was that we ran him too much. So which is it? He ran too much or he threw too much? Which one is it? Like the moon and the stars have to align, it seems like, for him to get it right.
And you know one thing, bro, that's the first time I believe that I have actually touched on that whole argument right there between running and throwing. Because I've never said anything about Lance not throwing. I've just always talk about give him reps. Give him reps, let him get warmed up, let him get going. But I've always looked at Lance as a running quarterback that is trying to be forced to become a pocket passer, and he looks scared.
Okay, running.
Yeah, so
but he hasn't
go ahead,
really
Mike.
shown the speed of getting around the edge. So I think there was a false hope sold to them about his running abilities. He doesn't.
I mean, what they say he ran.
He doesn't have the speed that was kind of sold to everybody.
Yeah, right. He didn't run a 40 for a reason, Mav. So let me ask you this, Mav. Let me ask you to put your coaching hat on. How long does it take you to see it when a kid has it? How long does it take you to see it? Like that kid has it. He's got it.
If it's a kid who's been playing for a while, it shouldn't take
No,
long.
just
Maybe
you
like
see,
2
they
games.
bring you right. It don't take long, right? It don't take long. And then how long does it take you to see when a kid's just doo-doo? They're just trash. How long does it take you to see it?
I'm not gonna call him trash for the simple fact that he looks like someone who's just learning how to play the damn game.
He's not good. Oh, he's all right. He doesn't have it. And then when there's a kid where you're like, yeah, it's taking forever. I don't know. You usually see it right away. If Trey had it, we would have saw it right away, Mav.
Mav, what were you saying
If Trey
play his first game?
You say what?
What were you saying after you saw Purdy play his first game?
After I saw Purdy play his first game, I mean, I didn't have no problem with Purdy whatsoever.
What was your initial reaction? Purdy came in against Miami game. What did you think?
He was sad because it was against Miami.
Oh, that's true.
Oh man, no. Actually, let's be real. Let's be honest though. I believe I started texting or we were saying something because I was like, "Damn, there we go. That's the offense I wanted to see."
Okay.
Right. You saw it right away.
So hold that. That was Purdy's very first game. to that point, at that point, you've seen Lance play 4 starts, and you never thought that once when you saw Lance play any of those starts, correct?
But the thing about that is, I'm literally
no. Yes or no. Yes or no. Yes or no. You still needed to see more. You still were like, I still need more reps. You still saying I still need more reps. No, you got enough reps. You don't got it, bro.
One, you're like, damn. But you're like, I still need to see more from Lance, and that was after 4.
Okay, but all right. If we think
go ahead, Drew.
If we think about it,
because Matt's stuck.
You count.
Gotcha.
No, I'm not.
Oh, no.
Listen.
Go ahead, think about it, man. Think about it, man.
Hold on. First off, I'm not finna sit there and call the kid trash because I knew what we had.
No, we didn't call him trash. We did not him. I'm just saying, like, when you're a coach, you see a kid and you're just like, okay, I'm sorry, maybe trash is too harsh to use on a kid. You're right. Okay, he's not a good player. And you're just like, all right, little Timmy doesn't have it. Maybe he should go focus on like riding horses or something.
Listen.
You see it right away.
Listen, I'm not gonna say go ahead and ride horses, but for knowing me, I'm gonna try to coach this kid. Yeah, he's not gonna be starting, of course not.
It's the NFL, man. He's worth $9 million. You're gonna still be playing a guy who can't play.
I never said play him. I seen Purdy come in. I see what the team was moving. Okay, I'm good with it. I'm fine with that. I have no issues with the starting quarterback. The issue that I have is the fact that the media and all the content creators, after 4 games, started calling him a bust, started calling him trash, knowing that this kid is pretty much brand new to the whole game of football. He's a project. He should have never went that high to begin with. He got put in a position that he shouldn't have been in, and he got scrutinized that like he shouldn't have got scrutinized.
Well, I just kind of said
that's the only thing I'm saying.
Why he's getting that is because of how they brought him in. How they brought him in, everybody expected so high of him because we traded so much of him. I just said at the beginning of this conversation. At the same time, you look at
had Trey Lance and plus,
about it, right?
But you got to think about this too.
But it's not because of his race.
No. Well, it resonates in that way with most black fans. That's all I'm saying. And I've also said it's not racially motivated. I would not call Kyle that because I don't know the man personally. He's never really done anything in broad for me to see, for me to call him a racist. No, I will say this: his decision had an unconscious consequence to it that brought in the race. That's all it is. So with that said, I'm looking at Brock Purdy. He comes in and he balls out. That's my guy. I'm looking at Trey Lance, who I brought in for a particular set of skills, and trying to implement those skills into a scheme that I've been running for decades, and it's just not working. So now, because of me picking them up that high and giving away the majority of my money, $80 million, bro. That's $80 million they gave away to go up to 3 and get Trey Lance.
Right now, because
now check this. Okay. Turn around because of you drafting him that far up. If he stays on your roster, you would have to pay him starting quarterback money to be a 3rd string quarterback.
So here's what I'm saying. You guys talk about he doesn't fit Kyle Shanahan's system. But if you look at the system he was running in college, he's running play action. He's running everything Kyle's asking him to do. The problem is that when he came to the NFL, he's not able to hit the simple throws that 90% of Kyle's offense relies on.
Okay. So we've seen, you and I sat back and watch a couple of tape on Jimmy G in college. And we both said, why couldn't we get this Jimmy on the Niners? Right or wrong?
Right.
he was letting it rip. I mean, we say Jimmy can't throw down the field, but Jimmy was letting it rip in college.
Right.
I
So,
mean,
and
corners
we
and
already
can't
said
throw a
that though.
touchdown.
So before we go
Like,
any
dude,
further, we've already decided that. We've already distinguished that. Okay. Kyle's ability to develop and coach a quarterback is different than Kyle being racially motivated to like push Trey out. Those are two different things. You can't continue to lump those two
yeah.
things together.
No. When I'm coming with the Jimmy deal is it Kyle that's holding back these quarterbacks because he's so adamant about them doing specific things? Or is it truly these quarterbacks that just are who they are under Kyle
I
Shanahan?
think my honest answer here is I think Greasy's the coach there. I think Greasy's a good coach. And I just don't think Trey's progressing the way they want him to. And I think it's Greasy. And I
No,
honestly, they're just saying he's
I agree with that.
not doing what we need him to be doing. It's not getting better.
And that's why I've always said Trey Lance does not need to be a Niner. As much as I love Trey Lance right now, even though I have not really seen him do anything, but he does not need to be a Niner because the whole narrative is we're built to win. We're ready to win. All we're missing is the quarterback. And it's like, now you got Purdy. Then you're going to have to pay Trey Lance starting quarterback money coming next year if he's still on your roster. And there's a chance that he might not even be moved up to number 2 because even though Sam Darnold might be gone, you might bring in somebody else. So
Jerry said, in my opinion, it was the O-line play. It was McGlinchey. I think he's talking about when Jimmy was here. But I think let's move on. I think we spent the whole hour on quarterbacks.
I told you, bro, we're gonna do it, man. Bosa, let's go real quick, man.
Let's talk about Bosa. Let's talk about Bosa, bro. What's going on with Bosa? Mike, what's up with Bosa?
Get the contract done.
Mike said he's not washing that jersey until Bosa signs.
I think out of this group, I've been the one that's more freaked out about it. Like, he just needs to get in there. He needs to get a few reps to be football ready. He's going to be prone to some soft tissue injuries if he doesn't get in there. But I think what calmed me down was Aaron Donald set out till the 31st of August before his deal got done. So I'm going to give myself till the 31st of August, and then I'm going to sound the red alarm again.
Okay, real quick question, Mike. Are you emotionally invested in Bosa?
Yes.
Okay, so therefore, you would probably kill Kyle if he was to trade Bosa.
If something was to happen where Bosa's not on this team, that's when I will turn on Kyle and Lynch.
Oh my God! All right.
Sorry, but
What's up, Drew? Go ahead.
He is one of those players that actually can disrupt a game.
Exactly, Mike. I'm driving you down to the stadium. How about that?
Go ahead, Drew.
Like I said, I'm driving Mike down to the stadium. We're gonna go down there together and we're gonna set it up. We're setting the building on fire. If that don't get come on, man, that is literally this is we've seen it now since he's been there. It's been your key piece of your defense. Him and Warner has been key pieces. We've watched stuff move around through the defense, through the line. We've seen people come and go through the cornerbacks, all of that. But these two pieces have set steady and been a force each year. So for you to let that go, that would be the dumbest thing ever. The contract should have already been looking like the first thing before y'all even want to start about backup quarterbacks, any of this other mess. And we should have been already working on, should have been trying to get it together and get him to sign quick as possible. Honestly, I feel like in his situation, it's a give him what he wants situation. I'm going to be honest. I feel like it's a give him what he wants situation.
So, Mav. So just to argue against a little bit with you, if race was truly a factor with the organization, Nick Bosa would have got paid a month ago.
Oh.
Nick Bosa is wide as a kite. He still ain't got paid, bro. I'm just saying.
You still on that?
We got
First off, okay.
All right, let's go ahead. I'm done. I'm just saying.
Here's what I really think. Okay, when it comes to a contract, it's almost up to the player to accept that contract, right? Or negotiate it. Need something better, right or wrong.
They lowballed him. They lowballed him is what happened.
Yeah, because they offered him something.
I don't think it's a lowball situation. I think it's the guaranteed. The guaranteed is what the holdup is.
Well, hold on. You can't really say that real quick because what's his name? Justin Houston from the Chiefs. Is that his name, Justin or something like that?
A while ago, Houston's gone. You're talking about Chris Jones.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. Okay, I'm sorry.
Chris Jones said he's holding out till week 8.
Dang.
And Bosa, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that Bosa might do too, because they come from money, and he'll pay that fine. I believe he would.
Bosa will not miss week 1.
Because think about it, Bosa wants to be the highest paid guy at that position. Chris Jones, if Bosa accepts his contract before Chris Jones, that gives Chris Jones more leverage to up him by $1 or $2 million.
I think they're two
guaranteed, total, everything.
I think it's two completely different situations. The Niners want to and will pay Bosa. The Chiefs don't want to pay Jones.
Let's see. Because if that's the case, then Bosa should have just went ahead and signed his deal or whatever it's supposed to take. If it goes the other way around, if
Bosa's playing chicken with Jones, then that's bullshit.
There's a big possibility that might be.
Then I don't want to.
You're not taking that under consideration? You're not taking that under consideration?
I think he is to the last possible moment, but he's not going to hold out just as long. Bosa will be on that field week 1. As much as I like to joke that I'm freaking out, Bosa will be on that field week 1.
So what if next week comes by and he's not signed yet?
I told you I will sound the red alarm on August 31st. So if we get to next Friday, September 1st.
And no deal.
I think it, you know what? I'm going to call it. It happens tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to go to the weekend with some positive press.
I think he shows up next week. I think he does show up next week. I think it's part of the whole deal. It's been part of the deal the whole time. He just skipped preseason, train alone over there, wrestle bears, whatever it is that a bear does, and then show up on. And I get you guys. I know the reps are important. I guess where I stand with the whole thing is, don't pull a hammy. Don't nick anything up, bro. Just show up and kick ass week 1. I'm good with it. Even if he gets winded and they gotta pull him out, just don't get hurt. Don't get hurt at practice.
So y'all think him being in
I agree.
his agent was just hype then?
Hold on real quick. I agree with Jerry on this. That contract is the only thing that's going to have Bosa retire a Niner.
Oh, he's 100% never going to another team.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
So he's going to be here next week. That's what you guys are calling.
That's what I'm calling.
Better.
All right, so let's talk defense real quick because I know we're finna cut off. I know we're not gonna have the same defense as last year. We can that. We don't even need a Bosa our head up talking about something. Oh, we're gonna be number 1. And I seriously don't believe that Bosa and Fred Warner can do it all on their own.
That's why we got hard.
But see what I'm looking at though, honestly, what I'm seeing is we're gonna get ran up and down the field a lot to where it's gonna open up a lot of play action pass. That back end is. We've had problems with that back end for a while now, and it's gonna get ate up this year. I really believe that.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Preseason, we got this trade with Isaiah Oliver. That man been getting burnt on too many plays that he shouldn't have got burnt on, and I was just like, "What is going on?" Like
Wilkes is playing too much of a spread deep there, man. I don't see nobody's tight. Everybody's spread out and look confused at times. Look like we play Madden 24 out there.
It'll be cleaned up.
It's all the young guys. It's all the young guys learning their assignments.
And then
How about we end the show? How about we end the show on the division predictions? We go around and talk division. How about we do that?
Let's do that. Let's do it.
Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go throw some hot takes out because we definitely got to go on record with these. Hold up. All right. Let's start with the AFC East. AFC East. I'm gonna start it off and then I'm gonna kick it up to Drew. So I got the Bills, I got the Jets, Dolphins, and Pats coming in fourth place. What you got, Drew?
Y'all know who I picked, and I'm gonna say it again. I picked the Pats. Now, when I say this, I'm trying to tell y'all. See, everybody's looking at it as the wrong thing. Everybody, it's not gonna be the quarterback y'all think that's gonna win it. I'm trying to say that it's not. It is. Watch Bailey come in. Zappy is about to be that guy. He's about to be zip zappity and do his thing. He really almost took over last year, and everybody knew that. It's the simple fact of.
All right. We ain't trying to hear your whole take on him.
Okay. All right. So pass. Who else? Come on. We'll keep it moving. We got other people next. So you got the Pats. Who's number two?
Number two.
Get your picks in. Yep. Who's Pats? Then who else?
Buffalo. It ain't Miami, man. It's not Miami.
And then
it's Buffalo.
I'm fine with that. What you mean?
Who's third?
Miami.
He ain't thought that far.
He said Miami.
All right, and then so then I'm taking he got Jets at the last.
God, dog.
All right. Just brutal.
Jets is overhyped ever since they started this and then got Aaron Rodgers like it's going to change something. Aaron Rodgers ain't do nothing on the Packers last year. Come on now.
True. Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
I got Bills, Dolphins.
Say it.
Dolphins?
Go ahead.
Dolphins in second place?
Say Jets and Patriots because we both got the same lineup except for the first two. Go ahead.
Jets, Patriots, but I can flip that very easily. I'm sorry, but the Aaron Rodgers hype, the more I watch Hard Knocks, the more I'm convinced that, like 12 months ago when they picked him up, Aaron Rodgers will be the Russell Wilson of this year. It's like, mark my words, the Jets are not making the playoffs, and this is going to be a decision that puts them further into the hole for years to come.
What? Call it right now. 7-10 or 8-9. Call it right now.
Chip. They'll be lucky to get 7 wins.
Dang.
Call me crazy. Everyone come at me at the receipts, but we'll be talking in January.
Snap.
So you already know I'm gonna go ahead and keep it Florida all day long. Miami's gonna be in the top there.
We already know. Just give us the third. We already know number one, man. Just give us the other three.
Oh, I did. The Bills, Jets, and the Patriots.
So Dolphins, Bills, Jets, and then the Patriots.
Yeah, Mike and I have similar ones except for the top two. That's it.
Okay. All right. Let's do the AFC West then, and we'll finish it off with the West. We'll do the rest next week. All right. So I got the Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. Mike, what you got?
Oh, you love my take, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm writing it down.
I got the hot take coming in here. Chargers.
Can't believe he said that.
We're going Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos.
What?
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he killed me with that one. He killed me with that one.
Mike got me up.
Let's talk in January.
Bro,
boys.
After all the shit he done talked about the Chargers, bro.
You know what? I'm gonna throw it out there.
After all the shit he done said about the Chargers coach.
I would love to see
until
it's not the coach. Kellen Moore is going to be that difference maker for that team. Mark my words. Kellen Moore,
next year, not this year.
Oh, you'll see.
Next year, not this year. Next year.
Kellen Moore, the Chargers, is going to be their benefit. And you're going to watch the Cowboys fucking suck this year.
Hold on, Mike.
I'm going to go ahead and call it.
you do realize you got him over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, right?
I
Like
was saying
on
that,
purpose.
but I was
That's
letting
nice.
Mike cook. I was letting him cook for a second.
That's fine. You go ahead. We're gonna talk.
All right.
We're gonna.
He can have a big ass receipt.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it right now. Next season will be the season when a team from that division finally dethrone Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
It's gonna be this year.
But this year is gonna be the Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm gonna even. You know what? Mike. I'm gonna make your daddy happy, bro. I'm gonna make your daddy happy.
God.
Raiders second.
Don't say.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it just for you. The Raiders gonna be second, followed by the Chargers, which I'm gonna bump them up over the Broncos, which I had the Chargers last, but I'm gonna go ahead and swap that. Put the Broncos last.
All right. Drew, you're up. Close us up, my dude.
Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos.
Well, Drew's at least got the Chargers in second.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are really high on the Chargers, huh?
Hold on. Think of the division that you're talking about. You're talking about Chargers going to be under the Broncos, and we just talked about Russell and how that goes. And then you're talking that the Raiders is going to be better than the Chargers. I'm not feeling.
So it's Jimmy and McDaniels, Reed and Mahomes, Peyton and Russell, and then you got Herbert and Kellen Moore. Those are the pairings. Who do you got more faith in? I can't believe you guys got more faith in Herbert and a first-year guy, or no, he's a coordinator, Kellen Moore, than all the other guys. But
what did Kellen Moore do to the Cowboys offense?
Apparently
he transformed it. You're right, he did. He elevated it.
They got more talent on the Chargers than the Cowboys.
Got a better quarterback too. All right, Mike. We're gonna say, dude, you've been right before, so it's a pretty wild one, though. It's a real wild one. You were close on the Lions one last year. You were pretty close on the Lions one,
but I edged you out, didn't I?
Who called the Russell Wilson debacle last year too? You
guys you did. You sure did.
You guys all called me crazy for that take.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, man. Go ahead and close us off, my guy.
Fellas, viewers, it was fun. Today we got a lot off our chest. And hopefully we sleep easy tonight, knowing that the team's supposed to be moving in a better direction. Like I said, I called it this year, Super Bowl or bust, whether you agree with me or not. But as always, it was a pleasure. Ron, Drew, Mike, next week, same time,
yes, sir.
Same channel.
Go Niners.
God bless.
Man, Drew always gets out.